Hey, it's Scott from Kill or Be Killed Reviews. So, quick announcement before we get into the video. I know I haven't posted in a very long time. I apologize. There's really no excuse other than life kind of complicates things, and I've just been really strapped for time lately, so unfortunately I have not had the time to make any videos or really honestly watch any movies or TV shows that I really would want to go over, to be honest. Either. Hey, that was a weird sentence, but yeah, so sorry about that. I'm finishing up my second year of college. I work. I'm in the process of moving right now, so I just really haven't had the time to, record vocals and edit videos and stuff like that. So sorry, I'm not giving up on the channel or anything. It's nothing other than life has me strapped for time lately. But yeah, anyways, I just kind of wanted to give a little update in case any of you are curious why this channel has gone pretty dark as of recently. Hopefully, now that school is ending for this semester, year, whatever, I'll have more time to make videos and do this stuff. Yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. So let's get right into the video. So The Hunt is a 2012 Danish drama directed by Thomas Vinterberg, and it stars Mads Mikkelsen. I just watched this film last week, and the reason why I'm doing a full video on it is because I think it's very poignant and has a lot to say about what's going on in the world right now. If you've been paying attention, you might have noticed that there's a lot of accusations flying every which way in any and every sort of media that exists right now. There's the whole thing that went on in Hollywood with all the sex scandals and the Me Too thing, and there's a bunch of sex scandals and sexual abuse scandals and domestic violence scandals and music going on right now, and it just seems like there's accusations being flown every which way. And that's kind of what this film tackles in a broad sense. So let's get into it. Basically, the synopsis or summary of this movie is there is this teacher named Lucas. He is a kindergarten teacher, and he often spends time with his best friend's daughter, who is also a student in his school. And what happens is his best friend's daughter ends up accusing him, Lucas, of revealing himself to her. She tells this to basically the principal or the head person, the owner of the school that Lucas works at. And of course, they take this accusation very seriously, as they should. The issue, however, is everyone grabs their pitchforks right away. They see that he spends a lot of time with this girl and that he's around the children alone a lot. But really, that's not all that unusual. I mean, he is a kindergarten teacher, and this girl is his best friend's daughter. I mean, it's not like they spent an unusual amount of time together, but the best friend and his wife argue a lot, and there's just kind of a little bit of a dysfunction in their household, so Lucas often walks their daughter to school. Their daughter also happens to be infatuated with his dog, Fanny. So even though there's something there to base the accusations off of, Lucas hasn't really displayed any sort of creepy, pedophilic vibes prior to this accusation. Anyways, so yeah, Lucas gets ostracized by basically the entire town, save for his son and a friend of his. But there's this line that keeps echoing throughout the movie, and that's this quote, "Children don't lie." I'm sorry, but what? That's like what children do. I don't know if you guys remember when you were kids, but I lied all the time. I didn't want to face consequences, and a lot of children don't. Granted, lying about this is particularly strange, but the line, "children don't lie," I don't know, that just seems really ridiculous to me, and I feel like if there's something that I can point to in this film that maybe I disagree with or maybe I feel is a piece of flawed logic, it's that line, "children don't lie." Sorry, but that's ridiculous, and it's proven very much so, because as this film goes on, so the daughter, her name is Clara, by the way, as this accusation flies, the parents and the principal lady, they assume that not only is Clara the only victim of this, but he's doing this to all the other kids in the kindergarten. So they interrogate all the other kids, and they're looking for signs and symptoms, but these signs and symptoms of being abused are very vague. Things such as headaches, things that we just get sometimes. Nightmares, other things that we just get sometimes. There's just not much physical proof there, and when they interrogate these kids, the kids basically concoct a completely fictional story about Lucas. It's so fictional to the point where they literally just make up things. For example, the kids basically concocted this elaborate story of where Lucas would lead the kids back to his house to do things to them, and they said, yeah, Lucas would take us in his basement, but Lucas didn't have a basement. So there, right there, kids lie. Kids have imaginations. Kids fantasize things, especially when you're putting notions in their head. They'll expand upon it. And so really the villain of this story is an intangible one. It's the culmination of lies, a lack of trust, and an extreme reactionary attitude. Hysteria, mass hysteria, is the villain in this story. Clara is not the villain, even though she is the liar and she's the source of these accusations. About halfway through the movie, Clara actually comes out to her mother and says, I lied, basically. She says, I said some bad things and I made it up. I made these accusations up about Lucas. And her mom says, oh no, honey, your brain is just trying to make you think that it didn't happen because you don't want to remember what happened. It's like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, you people. There's no evidence there. And then when the child comes out to you and says, I lied, you're basically creating the scenario that you fear. It's this weird dichotomy of like, they want the worst to have happened because they want to hate it. I mean, obviously, an accusation of pedophilia should absolutely be taken seriously and investigated, but there's also such a thing as innocent until proven guilty, and just because you accuse someone of something, that doesn't mean that they're guilty right away. It's easy to look at someone who's accused of something disgusting and deplorable as pedophilia or sexual assault or domestic violence or rape or anything like that, and just hate them immediately and think of them as less than human and disgusting pieces of absolute human garbage. But we have to remember that these are, at the end of the day, right now, just accusations. We can't grab our pitchforks right away and fucking chase Frankenstein out of the village. I don't know, I've never seen Frankenstein, but you get my analogy, my point. So I feel like this movie is very important now and very poignant, and it's kind of interesting because this movie came out in 2012, and I mean, accusations have been a thing since forever. But it wasn't until quite recently, like the past year or two, that accusations in, like I said, almost every form of media out there have been just running rampant, and that's why I think it's so almost kind of lucky that I saw this movie so recently. I just felt like it was an important highlight of what's going on right now in today's time. Oh yeah, by the way, towards the latter part of the film, Lucas gets arrested and then he gets released again, and they go to live at his friend's house, who, like I said, supported him from the very beginning with his son. And while they're living there, Lucas lets Fanny out in the backyard because, I mean, they live in Denmark and it's beautiful there. They let their dog out back. And when Lucas and his son are preparing dinner in the kitchen, a brick flies through the window. Lucas goes out to investigate, and he finds his dog Fanny in a garbage bag dead. I cannot believe these fuckers killed his dog. Like, even if he was a pedophile, what the hell did the dog do to deserve that? I don't know. I'm sure I'm not alone that innocent animals dying in movies always makes me angry. The dog didn't do anything. So yeah, the movie concludes as Lucas's best friend Theo, Clara's father, goes into Clara's room to comfort her, I'm assuming, and Clara tells him the truth, that she made it all up. And unlike her mother, Agnes, Theo believes her. So yeah, now everything's okay. The movie displays a 1 year later time card and everything's fine. Lucas is no longer ostracized from the community. His son Marcus receives his hunting license and they go out for a hunt. And then the ending happens where Lucas is on his own, just taken in nature, and a gunshot fires and just misses his head, and Lucas turns around and sees someone with a rifle who you cannot distinguish, who does not have any recognizable features or faces to resemble any characters in the movie. And then that character who shot at Lucas just runs away, and that's the end of the movie. As far as this ending goes, I thought it was interesting, but I can't really say anything strongly positive or strongly negative about it. I thought it was rather strange to end this movie that's rather practical and rather grounded in reality with such a symbolic ending. The way I interpret it is very simply, Lucas was the hunt. Lucas was being hunted. Lucas was the deer, and the community were the hunters. He was being shot at, and he just narrowly escaped. That's just how I interpreted it. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do so, but I don't know. I just feel like that interpretation makes the most sense. At least it does to me. But anyway, so yeah, that was the movie. I thought it had a very impactful narrative and impactful concept. And overall, I just thought this movie conveyed itself very well, and I thought it had something interesting to say, and it said it very interestingly. At least very captivatingly. I was very angry through most of this. But angry in a good way, not angry like this movie's bad angry like, this movie's sure making an impact on me. Kind of like how I felt so fucking depressed after watching Dancer in the Dark. Not to go off on a tangent, but certain movies are supposed to make you feel certain emotions. Just because a movie makes you feel extremely sad or extremely angry, that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. Negative emotions are very underrated. They're important to not only art, but life itself. Not all good movies are happy movies, and not all bad movies make you angry or sad. Anyways, whatever. That's a topic for another video, I suppose. Let's go get into some technical stuff that I liked and didn't like about the movie. So really the only technical negative in this movie is I didn't really like the actor who played Marcus, Lucas's son. I particularly didn't like how he acted in his angry scenes. When he was like screaming, his screams felt less like, I'm angry, you people are bad, and more like slightly loud talking. His screams of anger sounded more like a raised voice at a cocktail party, would be the best way to describe it. I don't know, I just felt like if you're really angry, you're not just gonna talk loudly, you're gonna talk with emotion and inflection that portrays that anger and desperation in your voice, and I just didn't really hear that from his vocal performances. All the other actors, though, in the movie I thought were very, very good. I have no issues with anyone except for Marcus, and even still, I don't think Marcus was entirely terrible. I just think that those angry scenes with him, particularly his deliverance of the lines, was just kind of weak. And then as far as the cinematography goes, I really enjoyed the atmosphere, the lighting, and general setting of the movie. Wherever they filmed this was absolutely gorgeous. Like when I wasn't extremely angry and disgusted with the subject and the concept and the general theme of this movie, I was absolutely in awe of this setting. It's so beautiful and so breathtaking, and the camera work and total cinematography really captures this. Overall, I think this film is absolutely incredible front to back. I have just a few issues with it. Like I said, the actor who played Marcus could have been a little bit better. Didn't really like the quote, "children never lie." Not only do I think this is completely false, but I also think most people don't think that children never lie. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I didn't like that they killed his dog, but that's less of like a complaint with the movie and just the movie making me angry. Anyway, so yeah, I thought it was a great movie. I thought the concept was great. I thought the theme was great. I thought the setting was great. I thought all the technical aspects were great, save for the small things that I mentioned previously. So yeah, I'm gonna give this movie an 8 out of 10, and I would absolutely recommend it, especially now with the current social climate. Thanks for watching. What'd you think of this movie? Do you have any recommendations for me? If so, leave them right in the comments. They can be movie recommendations, TV show recommendations, anime recommendations, whatever. Anything that you think was relevant to me or this channel, go ahead, give me a recommendation. Even if it's bad, give me a recommendation. You get the point. Anyways, so I created an IMDb profile recently, and I'll be linking that in the description of this video. I'll also put it in the about area in this channel, and I'll also put it in my Twitter bio. Right now I've got a little over 100 ratings on there. I've obviously watched more than 100 movies, so most of the movies on there are either movies that stuck with me, either extremely positively or extremely negatively, or they're just movies that I saw recently. So, but yeah, whatever. Anyways, check that out if you'd like to see what I think of movies and things and such, and my ratings. And also, I also have two lists that I created on my profile. One is of 10s, which are movies that I think are 10 out of 10s, near perfect or perfect. And then the second list that I created is a bunch of bad movies that I think are really terrible or laughable or overrated or just downright terrible. I already said terrible, didn't I? Whatever. You get the point. If you're interested in my opinions outside of this and just want to see what I think in a quick little star rating thing of movies and such, feel free to follow me on IMDb. Is that how it works? Do you follow me? Anyways, link in the description. Yes, bio and about. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time. I don't think I've ever said that, but I will hopefully see you next time. End of video.